Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. This is part 2 on the Ford F150 Lightning 2000 PCM from Jason Tavares. He approved the VIN programming and I'm waiting on his cluster to do the key programming. So I'm going to show you in this second part how to do the VIN programming and updating the computer, because obviously we got a bad calibration for this computer. I have everything ready to go. I'm gonna need these numbers. I also going to show you, let me start the screen recording so I can set this in a very common all right guys, how was I saying? I had the screen recording going on, and just to make sure that is, yes, we got the red button in there, so perfect. All right, so one thing that I want to show is I always do my homework and I gather all the pins. As you can see, this is 2003, it's the same signals, is going to be the same. These are the ejector pins, so I just go through 1 through 8 and 1 through 8 on the coils, and these are the numbers for the pin outs. This is a 104 connector computer, which I have another one in here. Remember, he's all computer, so this is the way this is going to look. So the computer has indeed marks as I think it's 79 and 104 and 1 and 26. Yes. So I'm going to leave this one here because I'm going to need to read the numbers, which on these computers both are the same. And the decal, you know, the sticker that has in there, you need to have that XL3F that I was referring on the first video, and then the rest of the numbers, and then the tier tag number, which in this case is in the same sticker. This number in here, this will tell for what the correct calibration for this computer is. Again, we have in there pretty much all the main signals that we need. As you can see, we got programming is in 13, pin 13 goes to 13 on DLC, and these are just the communications, SCP, and pin 15 and 16, and then that goes to DLC 2 and 10. I'll use this, I'm going green, and I got this box. This is for no more paper writing. I write everything here and I just send it myself over to keep it as for my records. Let me just scroll down a little bit so you guys can see the rest of the signals. And this is, I create this harness that I showed you before that goes from the universal breakout box that has it's the easiest way for me to do the connector to the scanner, because sometimes I don't need to completely connect the computer. Like in this case, it's just for programming, so I don't need to go over to the full probe. Then I just use the universal breaker box. All right, so these are again the main connectors, and these are for me. I did this since I do my own harnesses. I go computer 175, you know, and then on to the full probe for my. This is pretty much for me, but again, this is for emulators and everything. On the computer connector, I want to make sure that I'm using, or which switch on this universal box I'm going to turn off, because remember, on the process of programming the VIN on Fords, we need the computer to be off for the majority of the starting of the process, and then after in sequence you will see when I'm doing it, you need to turn the ignition on, you know, power off the computer, but it's also going to tell you turn the ignition off, turn the ignition back on. In the car, not a problem. Here, I have to make sure that I'm just turning the ignition off and not the keep alive battery power, because otherwise it will crash the process. All right, so in this case, I know that that pin is 55. How I know that? I have a pin out, the original, and you can see here pin 55 is keep alive battery power, and again it's right here. I already tested out, and I know that I just need to keep always switch first in my switch number 1 on. All right, but since we're starting that, let me go over to, I'm sorry, but you guys are in my way a little bit here. As you can see, I'm using again the other laptop connected through TeamViewer, and we're going to start this process. Oh, that's not correct. Why is that like that? Let me do this 1 second. That's my little doggy that loves to bark for everything. I gotta love doggies. but sometimes they're very annoying too. I'm gonna have to restart this because I just updated IDS to the I think it's 129. So yeah, 129.01, which is the latest one. So let me select X to return the tool to save in records. No, so we're just going to close that. So let's start here because it says BCMM. Now we're using for BCM2. All right, because otherwise we'll not recognize our BCM, right? Yeah, BCM is powered up. All right, so I'm going to make this just a little tiny smaller so I can see you guys more of the tick mark, because since I am running this on a second, screen inside the screen, I will be just too big. All right, we're going to try to select the car. Again, we're just going to let the communication or the IDS try to connect to the computer. Nothing is on. Let me just show you that. In the meantime, that is going there. Nothing is power on. And you're just going to see this is just switching on and off in there. That is not really that important for me to share that. Make sure you guys, yep, I think we're good. This is just, again, a process of waiting for the IDS to understand that there is no computer connected. In this case, what IDS will think is that we have a problem with the computer and it's not communicating. And that's what we're looking for. I want to make sure that this is, again, since it's an older computer, that we are able to do that. So no communications can be established with PCM, set ignition on. So you're going to click on the tick mark. And again, we like to retry. The diagnostic testers will make another attempt to establish the PCM connection. If no press, the diagnostic tester will check. You see, if no is pressed, the diagnostic tester will check for a blank PCM. This might involve several requests, and that's what we're looking for. Okay, so all right, so and all this time, nothing is changing. Nothing is changing in here. So we're going to wait for the time when this asks us to put the calibration tag number and everything. That's what we're looking for. All right, so you will be prompted to select a vehicle from the list. Okay, perfect. So that's exactly what we are looking for. To enable diagnostic test, please enter one of the following in the next screen, PCM part number. Okay, so that's exactly what we want. So as you guys see, I selected all others because it's not on the list that they put in there. And then we need to put all the calibration part numbers. So in here, this is where we want this. So it will be XL 3F. And then at the end, we have, I need my glasses for that, a GC. Calibration number, I don't have that, so we're going to put the tier tag, which in this case is CUX2. If it's something else that you need to put in here, the software will request it too. Let me go over to Pro Demand and see, because I was looking at all the information that I shared before. I don't think I have. I mean, I have it as a 2000, so that's what I'm going to use in there. So let me go back to here. So we're going to use May 2000. All right, so as you can see, based on what we just put in there, it says that it's a F150 5.4 automatic transmission, integrated. All this is correct, and it's federal emission. So we can say yes. Still with all this process, everything is off, and now we are going to put the VIN number. In this case, I can go again to Pro Demand. Actually, here probably is the best thing because all this information is based on that VIN number. I can select edit and then copy just the VIN number if it's not letting me. I can go over to his file because I want to take all the information number by number. I can just copy it from here so no mistakes will be made. So we're going to copy that. Let's go back to, it's because the camera position that I'm going like this. All right, so hopefully this let us paste, and it does. Row, you can put whatever you want. I'm going to put my internal number 246001 and then click. All right, complete. Perfect. All these is now set up with the VIN number that we need. Now we're going to go here and let me see, motor programming. Yeah. So in the toolbox, we're going to go to module programming. We're going to do program installation, PCM, and we're going to click the check mark. Gathering data. All right. The required calibration was not found on this diagnostic test. Do you wish to look on the network? Of course we do. Remember, nothing is on yet. We're going to download the file and everything is ready to go. The next time now that this IDS requests us to turn the ignition on is where we're going to turn the ignition on, but not yet. All right, guys, I have another video for this same process on another computer that I did. Don't remember the customer's name, but like I said, I always try to share as much as information. We got a newer version on IDS, so some things might have changed. So it's always good to update it or update the video so you guys can see. So switch the ignition off. Okay. Install a new module in the vehicle. Perfect. Please read the following information code. Don't start the reprogramming session with all battery, blah, blah, blah. Okay. If the vehicle equipped with pads, yes. Now we switch everything on. Hopefully you guys saw that or hear that, but otherwise everything is on. And now we're going to just do everything. Do you wish to try again? There was an error in there. Switch the ignition off. Okay, this time it worked. Probably I took too long trying to show you guys that and it didn't work, but it's now working. I was a little, afraid because I didn't sell to him this computer. This computer for 4 Lightning are very expensive. And I know after I talk and record the first video and talking to Joseph, they did try to do something with like HP tuners or somebody that was trying to help him out, tried to do something with that and it didn't work. And I'm like, ooh, hopefully the computer is not that corrupted that I will not be able to actually download the file on the computer and correct it, and change the VIN number and everything. But that's what I'm trying this first. I want to make sure that this is actually something we can do and get it done, right? So far, everything is working good. And this is pretty much across the board. I have not seen a module from at least until 2008 that you cannot do exactly what I'm doing. I have not tried that on the new ones. Most of the time they just do it on the dealers and not us. And people with the newest vehicle, they just buy the new computer even though they should just send it to me and we can repair it and not spend that much money on a new module. I mean, they can be really expensive. All right, everything is going really smooth as you can see here. So far, everything is fine. I might change some of the, all right, switch the ignition off. I'm going to just turn the two switches. All right, switch the ignition on. This module requires some configuration settings and the screen's parameters. Okay, this is probably failure to obtain the key configuration information might mean that you cannot properly configure the new module. Let me just see in the event that not interested in able to obtain original module information data from that you will need to the parameters. So let's see what it's going to ask for. All right, so we need to have tire size. So I need to get the tire size and for low range input. Let me gather that with the VIN number. I'm going to go over here and we're going to go into Identifix. Let me see what I have here. And what is the question? It's making me so it's axle ratio. Let's see if we have this. Axle. The only reason sometimes I use Identifix is because I'm not that used to, search axle ratio keyword. Let me see. Let's see what we got here because let me see differential rear 8.8 traction lock. Transmission 355. Let's see what we got in here because this is for vehicles equipped with 4.2 liters. Let's see what we got. 4.2. This is not for them. So let's open this again. All metal tag, blah blah blah. Let me see axle radio identification. Yeah, that's what I need. A metal tag stamp with axle model day manufacturer VIN. I just need it. Differential specifications. That's for the VIN gear. I would like to have something like this, but for the 5.4. Transmission control systems. Let's see the second one in control. This article supersedes. I'm trying just to look for information. And otherwise, okay, just put it here. Let me see. 2004 F150 Lightning. As you can see, I have done a few search with him. So, what is this? Axle ratio. came with 355 or 373 gears from factory, depending on the gear module, which was great for fuel economy. And I had both 355 and 373. Let me see if I see late module restoration, because in here it doesn't tell me anything. Specs and performance. Let me see. Okay, right here. This is sometimes it's good to find that information because what was it right here? Okay, so you see the 3.73 is in 2000 and up, and the 355 is in our model. So perfect. See this? Why is it all that our identifiers don't have that easy to select? All right, so each parameter for the amount must be selected. Continue. Okay. Let's see. Excel. What is this? Manual shift or on the fly electronic shift. I need to know if this is 4x4. Let me see. It might be here. Again, sometimes it's just get used to the software you're using. So let me just double. All right, guys. No way to access or to contact him. So again, the web on the saving, as you saw, we find out the actual ratio here. I need to also know if this is a 4x2 or no module. So I did a VIN decoder on the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration Services. This is something you can pin, and then you can use it when you need to decode in a vehicle that you don't have information. And as we can see, it says it's a 4x2. All right, so we can then go over to what is it right here, and then we can put as a 4x2, right? Okay, so we can then select the tire size, which in this case I also found is a 295/45. So 295/45. I can make this a little smaller. Yes, perfect. So 295. Let me see. What is it? Right here, 45. That's it, right? And then no, because it's a 4x2, so that's it, right? Switch the ignition off. Click switch the ignition back on. Hopefully you guys can see. I know that this microphone takes a lot out. Error code that you wish to try again. Something is happening when I turn this off. Might too slow. Switch the ignition off. Calibration has loaded and checked. Perfect. And sometimes you get that error. All right, switch the ignition off because this is calibration has been loaded and checked. If you program a 6.0 this or install the FICOM and relay, no, I didn't. If required, obtain a PCM. The name, the part didn't change, so we're okay. Program label is not required, so perfect. This process will obtain gain and security access. Oh, okay, this is what I cannot do yet. I will need to have the instrument cluster for this part. So this is, what is, because I said it's paths enable is requiring to do this. So yeah, we can just switch the ignition on. The diagnostic test is unable to communicate with the module. Takes me too long. Programming complete. Yeah, and that happened because the cluster is not connected. Sick ignition on is on. Clearing fault codes. The reason why I said it couldn't communicate with the module, remember these pads on this vehicle are in the instrument cluster, not on the computer. So not a problem. We can always reconnect everything, and when I have the cluster, I'm going to show you how to do that. I want to clear all the fault codes, turn everything off, get out like running here. Let me just switch the ignition off. Yeah, looks like everything went perfect. So I'm going to turn the computer off. I'm going to get out of here. All right. So I like to save the recording. So no, I don't want to save anything. All right. So this is off. Now we're going to do again the same thing, but all right. So we're going to now turn the computer on before we open IDS. And we're going to open IDS. Everything is selected correctly here. An open session was found. You want to resume? No, because I want to make sure it's reading the correct VIN number, right? So complete delete whole, no, delete sessions. So we're going to delete everything. So nothing stays. I don't know what I always ask this every single time, but doesn't matter, right? So we're going to start a new session on others, and communication should go very quickly. And again, perfectly. This is a good sign because remember before I was reading as a 2003. I just want to make sure that yes, it's indeed F150, 2000 year model, and we want to make sure that the VIN number is read correctly. Remember, I think at first it only shows the last digit of the VIN number. And yes, that is correct because YCA94751 is exactly what I have here. Going to get that as close as you guys still can see. This is his VIN number, so we are good. Everything went perfect. So VIN number is correct. The same VIN number was found. Do you wish to abort and restore the session? No, I don't. I want to restore this session. Yes, we can now see the entire VIN number again. Everything calibration and VIN number is done on this computer. Perfect. All right, guys. So this is as much as I want to do here. I don't want to do any tests until I have the instrument cluster. Again, this is how you calibrate and change the VIN number on a used computer for Ford. Hopefully this is helpful for you guys out there that are trying to do what I do and see, sometimes you cannot find information easy on Identifix or shop key or all data there, anything you use. And as you guys can see, I have everything. I have all data, I have Identifix, and I have shop key. Just name it. And sometimes this is, just look online, that's what I did, what is the tire size, what is the gear ratio, and it is very explanatory. This is very nice. This is specifically for SVT Lightning specs, and you can see that it shows me here that the actual drive shaft ratio, it was this. So again, just do your search. You can definitely find information, and that's how I do it too. All right, guys, thank you so much for visiting the channel. I will be, again, putting part 3, which will be programming the keys and doing the test, now the full test on the computer with the instrument cluster and the keys here, so I can check coils and injectors, because he hasn't run this computer. His first computer, those that haven't seen the first video, is super corroded. Couldn't do nothing. I said, I'm sorry, but this computer is garbage. Nothing I can do with it. And then he went ahead and bought a computer online because he asked me, do you have one? I said, no, I don't have one for this specific vehicle. So he went and got this one from I don't know where. And he's like, dude, it was very expensive. And I'm like, yeah, these Lightning computers are really expensive. But he got it, and it looks pretty clean. It looks brand new, but he hasn't run it. So he wants me to check, make sure the coils and injectors and everything is working, that I can reproduce here. And then he can plug it in the car and just be happy. So Joseph, this is your second part. Again, guys, thank you so much for visiting the channel, and don't forget to subscribe. Bye bye.